Hey guys, this is Shannon from Skip to My Life. In today's episode, we'll be creating an adorable winter wonderland on a budget, just in time for Christmas. Let's get going. If you're looking for an upscale life on a downsized budget, I am here for you at Skip to My Life. Let's start our winter wonderland theme with this cute little owl. I purchased him at Dollar Tree in the fall time, and I first spray painted him white with Rust-Oleum 2X spray paint. Next, I just mixed some school glue with some dark gray paint and painted over some of those feathers and just really brought out the texture of the owl. Dollar Tree carries some really neat colors of glitter, and this cobalt gray sparkly glitter I found at Dollar Tree, and I just sprinkled it all over that area I had put the glue and paint, and I just loved the way this turned out. I think this little guy is totally magically transformed. The idea behind my Winter Wonderland Christmas was just going through a magical woods the night before Christmas, Christmas Eve, and using our childlike imagination to bring that scene to life. Next, I just glued some gems to his little eyes to really make them look even more magical. And I added some white feathers. Now, I am not quite sure where I purchased these. They were in my craft stash, but I'm pretty sure you could get some white feathers or a white boa at Dollar Tree that would work just as well. And then for the finishing touch on this guy, I added some eyelids and some little feather wing covers that I just cut from an aluminum pan that I purchased at Dollar Tree. And of course, he had to have a little sprig of holly on his head. When you're finished watching my video, click on the link provided in my description box, and you'll hop on over to a series of other creators with wonderful ideas. The second project in our Winter Wonderland is a little bit more involved, so if you're ready for a challenge, follow along. If not, you can just watch. We started with a water jug from Dollar Tree and a decorative box. We're going to need both the top and the bottom. We're going to be making a Winter Wonderland lantern, and the jug is going to be resting in the bottom of that box. So I started by marking off the bottom where it just sits in that box. And then next, I'm going to create a window on each side of the jug that is really going to turn this into a lantern. And to do that, I just cut a piece of paper in the shape that I wanted it, and then I traced it onto each side of that water jug. If you're enjoying this video, please click the thumbs up button, and I would love it if you'd subscribe to my channel. I have so many more fun ideas to share with you. So to cut the little windows out, you're going to need to start it with an X-Acto knife, and then most likely you can use a scissors. Please be careful with this part. It is very easy to cut yourself if you're not careful. Your result will be a jug that looks more like a lantern, but the little side rails are not very sturdy. So to shore those up just a little bit, we're going to go ahead and glue some shish kebab sticks on each corner. Now, if you have popsicle sticks, those work fine too. This is just what I had. Another little safety measure, this is a great time to use your finger protectors if you have those. I purchased these at Dollar Tree, but you can also get these at an office supply store. They're not expensive. They will totally save your fingers from getting burnt in this step. Now we're going to transform the top of that box into the little top ledge of the lantern, and we're going to do that by cutting a large portion of that center of the lid out. You all are going to have just a little bit of faith in me because I'm going to tell you that this project looks a little rough at first, but I promise you we will finish it off to make it look gorgeous. For our next step, we're going to cover these 3 pieces with aluminum foil, and we're going to do that just by putting some glue on a plate, brushing that on with a paintbrush, and then piece by piece attaching the aluminum foil. And I will tell you that I put the dull side of the aluminum foil up. One thing I loved about using this water jug is all the texture on the plastic, and we really want to take advantage of that when we cover it with aluminum foil. Make sure you get the glue in all those little crevices, and that when you attach the aluminum foil, you smooth it into those little lines. It's going to add so much character to this piece. I'm so thrilled to be part of my friend Heidi Sambel's Friend Friday Hop today. And an added little bonus is if you participate in the hop today, you will be eligible to win a wonderful prize package. I'm going to be showing you what's included. Just stay tuned. So I not only attached the foil with glue, but then I went back and put Elmer's glue on the top just to seal it. And I did cover the inside as well as the outside with foil. I also covered the bottom of that box as well as the lid. This is just a baking tin that I purchased from Dollar Tree, and we're going to use this to add some texture and some architectural elements to this little lantern by cutting off those edges with ridges on them and cutting them into the exact same sizes to put on our little side pieces. Here's a peek at what you're eligible for if you decide to participate in today's hop. It is some really nice crafting supplies, so I hope each of you do that. Now you'll see that I'm going to go ahead and add a band to the top of this jug, and it's starting to look more and more like a lantern. All 3 of these Winter Wonderland Christmas projects are very budget friendly, but I will tell you that you're going to need a generous supply of glue gun sticks. In fact, I needed to run out and get more during this project. So I went ahead and glued the bottom of that box to the jug and then also the lid to the top, and it's really taking shape now. So remember I told you it was going to look a little bit rough at first, and that lid has some gaps and some holes in there, but we're going to go ahead and cover those with more of that aluminum tin. I cut 4 shapes that fit those angled sides perfectly, and I'm going to go ahead and glue those on to make it look even more like a lantern. If you like the metal look, you could definitely leave this as is, but I wanted to go and make it look even more distressed. So I went through and painted the outside and the inside with black chalk paint. Now, I didn't worry too much about coverage because I knew I wanted it to look very distressed. And then after I covered it with the black chalk paint and let that dry, I went back with some gray chalk paint and I just distressed some of the edges and the sides. I was researching lanterns just to get a few ideas for this little project, and I found some really cool looking metal lanterns that looked almost medieval. It reminded me so much of an enchanted winter forest, kind of like if you all ever read about Merlin and King Arthur in the forest, and that's what inspired me to create this project. To complete the structure of the lantern, we're going to use a black pool noodle. I guess it could probably be any color. We're going to go ahead and cover it up, and we're going to place that over the spout of the jug and glue gun it in place. And I will tell you that when you glue gun the pool noodle, it will significantly shrink. This is another area you're going to want those finger protectors. Then I just took a shower ring. I purchased a pack of those at Dollar Tree and stuffed another little piece of pool noodle in the middle, and we're going to transform those pieces into something that looks like a lantern handle. I repeated the previous steps by first painting it with black chalk paint and then distressing it with gray chalk paint. And then I finished by covering that outer area with a little bit more of the patterned aluminum pan and cutting a little circle out of the aluminum pan and also gluing that to the center. So you really cannot see the pool noodle. It just adds a little stability for that shower ring. And then lastly, we're just going to go ahead and distress that final piece of aluminum like we did the rest of it, so it all looks pretty uniform. Now, since this is Christmas and since I'm doing an enchanted forest, I went out to my backyard and picked up a few sticks, and I just glued those around the little windows of the lantern. And then next, I topped it off with some of that evergreen garland that you can find for $1. I am always amazed at how much you can get in that garland for just $1. But I went ahead and framed the top and the bottom of the lantern with the evergreen. If you're enjoying this video, I sure hope you'll click the thumbs up button, and please do subscribe. I would love to have you come back and get to know you better. From this point on, you can just embellish it however it pleases you with bows or ribbon, but I decided to make it look very natural, and I found these adorable little berries in a package at Dollar Tree. I just love the bright red against the green. And then for the finishing touch, I used some Dollar Tree snow spray. And friends, I was delightfully surprised at how well that covered, and there was no fallout or really messiness from that at all. Here's our finished magical lantern, just as if we found it in our enchanted Christmas woods the night before Christmas. And I'm going to show you as well what it looks like with the lights off. I think this would make a wonderful centerpiece for your Christmas Eve table or really anywhere in your home. For our last project, we're going to make some cute small lanterns. I purchased these at Dollar Tree. They do have a tea light there, but I wanted to paint the lantern, and so I had to remove that bottom section. I will tell you, it comes out a lot easier if you remove it from the front piece, and I'll show you my mistake when I didn't do that. I was a little too rough, so be careful with that. Don't forget, when you're finished watching this video, go ahead and click on the link in my description box and you'll be directed to the next wonderful creator in the hop. I decided to line the inside of the lanterns that I painted red with some buffalo check wrapping paper. Now, I think I purchased this at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. It's been a while, but I've seen a lot of this out. You're going to need a rectangle 4 inches by 6 inches, probably a little smaller than 6 inches. Go ahead and measure your individual box, and I think it will depend on how stiff the paper you choose to use. I'm going to distress this lantern with some white chalk paint, so I didn't worry too much about those creases. If you decide to leave it as is, you're probably going to want to take a little bit more time to get all the creases out of your paper. But like I said, I wanted this to look like a magical little winter wonderland lantern. So I did add some white distressing all over the outside and as well as the inside. Now it's time to reattach the bottom of the lantern, which holds the tea light. So I painted the bottom red, and then I just went ahead and glued the bottom of that lantern to the top, and it went in very easily. There are 4 little grooves. If you use this exact lantern, you'll see what I mean. And looking back on it, I think I could have removed that bottom easier if I had taken my X-Acto knife and just scored those grooves. I think it would have snapped off easier, but live and learn, right? For the finishing touch, I'm going to add some evergreen and some of those beautiful little red berries. And I also had a floral evergreen that I had used in my decoration last year. Don't know where I got that, but I wanted to tie all 3 of these pieces together so you'll see how this little project turned out. But you could use a bow, you could use gems, you could use all kinds of embellishment on these. If you've been following Skip to My Life, you know that my husband and I are recent empty nesters, and I am so excited that both of our adult children and their significant others will be with us for Christmas. I just cannot wait. Thanks for coming along today, guys. Don't forget to click on the link below to go to the next creator's great ideas. And if you want to enter the contest, make sure you comment on each person in the hop. Until next time, this is Shannon at Skip to My Life. Make it a great day.